here. I have gone to a TXVA, which is the Texas Education Association website. On that TEA website, they have the Relief TAKS test, and it is in an interactive form. You can actually take this test online, and it will then, when you get to score at the bottom of it, it will grade the test. I want you to notice, however we get that light off. I want you to notice this first problem was very similar to that first problem on the 9th grade test, wasn't it? 10th grade first problem, 9th grade first problem looked very, very similar. So yes, they're very similar tests. I want to show you something. I am going to go all the way to the bottom of the test. Somebody hit the head. What I'm trying to show you here, guys, so that you will recognize it right up front. It grades it, and you can then go back into this test and look at what you answered and what the correct answer was, and be able to use that to correct your thinking. But look at this column right here. That column right there has A's and H's in it. You know what the A stands for? Algebra. Do you know what the H stands for? 8th grade. Every test on the 10th grade test, every question on this 10th grade test has an A or an H. There is no G. There is no 12. There is no 11. These things are not intended to be over your head. These are things you learned last year, or things that you're learning the year before that, if you're taking the 10th grade test. Well, the 9th grade test is very similar to this. There are some algebra ones on there, but a lot of them are 8th grade type level questions. So even though you'll see one, you'll go, oh, that's geometry. Yes, it is, but it's no more difficult than the geometry you learned in the 8th grade. Okay? So, de-stress it. Do not worry about it. Cool? Everyone understand that? I figured it out. Okay. A little bit about this thing right here. How many people watch Dora the Explorer? One of the things that Dora does is that she goes along on her little travel. Excuse me. One of the things that Dora does as she's going on her little travel, as she's working problems, is that every once in a while she'll reach a point where she needs some assistance. Besides looking over and saying, no, and she looks at the problems and she's looking for things that will help her. And who does she call upon to help her? Backpack. She goes, backpack. Yeah, she calls upon her backpack. And what does she pull out of her backpack? A tool. A tool. Nothing more. Use the tool. A tool. Nothing more. Use the tool. They will help you. They're intended to help you. The teachers are giving them to me for you to use them. Use them. You will notice on this little mathematics chart, there is a ruler. On one side it's in centimeters, and the other side it's in inches. Right? When you read the question and it says, measure the size of this object to the nearest inch, don't use the centimeter sign. Use the inch sign. Use this ruler. Don't try to pull out a ruler out of your pocket. Don't try to guess at how big it is. Use the ruler and measure things. Okay? Knowing that. What? No. One of the strategies that they didn't mention, because they haven't taken the math test before, and Mrs. Lee and Mrs. School have never seen this before. On the math test, it starts out at question 1, relatively easy, and then they start getting just a little bit more difficult as they go along, until you get to those wonderful little questions where they ask you to write the numbers on the test. right? And when you write the numbers on the test, then the questions start going the other direction. They're a little hard, but they get easier. One of the strategies that you can employ here is start at the beginning of the test. If the questions get hard, go to the end of the test. Work backwards through the test. It works. You can get the easy questions out of the way, feel better about it, take a break, and then attack those hard questions. Okay? Enough said about that? Enough strategy? Okay? Everyone understand those? So I'm at the end of the test here. It says, if y is directly proportional to, what does that sound like? I'm just reading the question. It says, if y is directly proportional to x, and y equals 8, x equals 10, what's the value of y when x is 5? What does directly proportional mean? Not exactly the same. That's not what it means. Yes, ma'am.
When one there and the same. So like with 8, there's 10, 5, 4.
Very good. That's what it means. It means that they're going to be a straight line relationship. The slope is going to be a constant number. What she said, when it moves this way, the other will move the exact same amount. How would you go about solving this problem? April, how would you go about solving this problem? Set up a proportion? Would you like to show me what you mean by setting up a proportion? Line out, April. Line out. Okay. April's going to set up a proportion for us and show us how to work this problem. Your numbers are y is directly proportional to x, y equals 8, x equals 10. What is the value of y when x equals 5? Does everyone see the proportion that she set up over here? Yeah. She said 8 divided by 10. Where did she get the number? That was right here. She puts the x on top of the y on top of this equation. And then she said f, 5, which is the value of x squared by 5 equals x. And now she's going down and solving this. Lady, I know it's a good time to talk. I have no idea what those are. Okay. Miss Lee, quick tutorial. So, April has solved this problem. She says that y or x equals 6. That's not one of our answers there. What did you do wrong? 8x equals 50. When we divided 50 by 8, what did you get? You do? Oh. You know what? This shows you what needs to happen, guys. If you're working a problem, even though you think you know how it works, and you get an answer that isn't on the answer list, you don't guess wildly, you don't just panic, you don't say, I don't know how to work this. You look at it and you reset it up correctly. That's what she did here. She set it up correctly. Change where the x and the y were located, solve the problem down, and get x equals 4. X equals 4. Okay, moving on to the next question. Okay. This question says the table below shows the relationship between x and fx. This is a calculator problem. When you're given a table like this, did you know that your calculator can accept